Hey, I'm Matt Hudgins, and he's Dave Mulvaney, and this is Profitability MD. Dave, how you doing today, buddy?
Man, I'm doing great. How are you?
Life is good, my friend. Very good. You had a little vacation. You're coming back from somewhere.
I'm coming back from Long Island, New York. Had a little downtime. My wife and her parents, and you can see I didn't bring a razor with me. Just got back today.
What'd you get back just this morning? I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, just this morning. I mean,
really?
A few hours ago, I flew out fairly early, and yeah, so just got back. So
that's pretty funny. Well, some of us have to work for a living, so I was here, working around here. Just so you know.
I did work a little. I'm guilty of working a little, but I was just writing. That's all.
Recharging the batteries, right? That's what vacations are about. Recharging the batteries.
Exactly.
Hey, so we were saying this is episode 39, and we're going to call this Committing to Business Growth. So committing to business growth, and what does that mean? And so we were talking a little offline beforehand about there are a lot of that like challenges that are floating around out there that talk about, committing to these challenges and how the challenge itself is neat and cool, but there has a broader effect when you commit to a challenge. So I was going to ask you, you mentioned some of the other ones before I get into my little thing. So you had mentioned what's a challenge that you've heard recently?
I have a friend who I've seen him post a 21 day no negativity challenge, which includes no complaining. So that's a 21-day thing, and if you complain or you say anything negative, then you got to start over.
Okay.
So this is one of the things that I've seen going around lately. That's where I could see that would be positive, because you're starting to really bring your negative thoughts into your conscious mind, because a lot of those are subconscious. So in order to recognize that you're actually bringing them up or you're complaining, when it happens, oh no, now I got to start over the 21 days. But at the same time, you're going to be very conscious of complaining or being negative for sure.
Oh, absolutely. And I would think that would roll over into have other benefits, right? So it's funny, we talk about this, and I forget who talked about that. Your brain is meant to defend yourself. So it always thinks of the negatives. And there are all kinds of psychology studies of this. So we have a negative bent. That's why negative news sells like 10-1 over positive news. And the fear tactic works better than the, the stick versus the carrot, right? The stick and the fear works better. But it reminds me of, the positive focus, or I think Dan Sullivan has this app, and it's an app that I use on occasion. Now, works so well I quit using it. The Win Streak app.
Yep.
Win Streak app. And the idea there is at the end of every day, you write down the 3 positives for the day, right? And so the idea is you're not replacing the negatives, but by focusing on the positives, you kind of drown out the negatives, right? So the 21-day negative challenge thing, or non-negative challenge, you could do this by having the 3 positives by the end of the day. Like I do that with my kids growing up. My girls are now freshmen in college and a senior in high school. But since they were real little, I've always, give me your 3 positives of the day. 3 times you felt confidence or good or did something good for somebody else. That's how we, instead of saying, how was your day, right? Anyway, so she got 3 positives. It leads to the story. My in-laws were just in town visiting, right? And so the in-laws have a tendency to go right to the negative. How was the trip over here? Oh, the traffic was terrible. Oh, we got a late start, right? Oh, I can't believe the traffic in Atlanta. It's terrible. How's the weather? Oh, it's terribly hot. Oh, it's always, they go right to the negative. So my wife and I now we've noticed that, and our way of communicating is we won't go down that road. How was the traffic? Oh, it was fine. How's the weather? Yeah, it's fine. We got air conditioning in the house. We're okay with that. So you don't let them go down the negative train. We cut them off. We keep them going on the positives. So when you say that 21-day negative challenge, I would think the benefit would be you'd have a more, not only a rosy outlook on life, but probably a better outlook on your business, probably a better outlook for positive things you can do for your business and for your team and for yourself. So,
and I would think it makes you recognize the positives that are around you, rather than, it's so easy to see the negative.
Right.
Just like you said, we're programmed to see the negative, but if you focus on, like, in order to be positive and not have negativity and not complain for 21 days, You're going to really start to have to look for good things. Just like you said, how was your day? No. Tell me 3 positive things that happened today. And then you got to mentally search to find those positives.
Yeah, exactly right. It triggers your brain, right? It's kind of like we use this in our referral boot camp. You know, I had that discussion a couple of weeks ago. Instead of saying, give me 3 names, it says, you know, who are 3 people you play golf with that would be good for me to meet? Who are the 3 most successful business owners that you know of that would be good for me to meet? By triggering our brain, we get it focused on something. In this example, we're triggering it to focus on something positive or beneficial. Give me the 3 positives for the day, 3 times you feel. What's the other thing? I've heard that term. You can't feel grateful and complain at the same time. Or
True.
Actually, you can't be a complainer you can't be grateful and a complainer. Or how does it? No. You can complain or contribute. You can't do both, right? You're either a complainer, bitching and moaning all the time, or you're a contributor making stuff happen, but you can't be both.
True.
This kind of,
you heard about someone's program of a 75-day challenge. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so I just heard of this thing Friday, and now, you know, because I'm a nerd, I go and do the research and I Google it, and guy's got a podcast. So the challenge is called 75 Hard. So the number 75 and hard, Hard. And so, so you can Google it, which I did, and you can see all kinds of YouTube videos where people review it. And you could go to the guy's podcast, which I listened to the episode. I think I'll give credit. It was like MFCEO. MFCEO. I don't know what episode number, but it said 75 Hard. So it's the guy, again, I don't know who he is, but he gives this challenge 75 Hard. And so I'll tell you what the challenge is, which a buddy of mine had just completed, and he's actually going to do it again. And it's 5 simple rules. And so the 75 Hard is for 75 days straight. That's the 75. You have to, 1, follow a diet, a meal plan, a diet. Doesn't matter what type diet. You want to do the Atkins diet, the Weight Watchers diet, calorie counting diet. It doesn't matter. But it's 75 days straight of following the diet. If you fall off the diet, then you got to start over. You're 70, just like you mentioned, the 21-day challenge of feeling positive or not complaining, you got to start over. So that's number 1. Number 2, you have to exercise twice a day. And I think he said 45-minute workouts. So 2 45-minute workouts per day. That's a lot of time. You and I were talking about that. One of which has to be outdoors. Okay? So he said, why the importance of that? So first of all, 45 minutes is a commitment. Twice is a real big commitment. And outdoors. He said, why outdoors? Outdoors because it's going to, one of these days for sure, it's going to be hot. It's going to be cold. It's going to be raining. It's going to be windy. It's going to be position. But you still have to do that workout outside because sometimes in life, things just have to get completed. Things just have to get done. Right? He's like, I don't care if you do push-ups and sit-ups outside. It has to be outside. I don't care if you drag your treadmill outside. One of the workouts has to be outside. And it's got to be outside because it's not always going to be the ideal results. You know, like I know people that will only work on their treadmill when they got a fan and an air conditioner and their iPad all at once. You know, got to have ideal conditions in order for them to even work out, right? So they're not always going to be ideal and you got to do it anyway. So that's kind of the lesson. That was number 2. I'm sorry. Number 3, drink a gallon of water. It's a lot of water. Maybe it isn't. Sometimes you drink a lot of water. But imagine if you're short and you got to drink, you know, whatever, a bottle of water, 2 bottles of water before you go to bed. Well, you got to do it, right? Or start over. Read 10 pages a day of self-help or business book. So he said, you know, it can't be some, you know, fiction book or something like that. It's got to be a self-help or a business book. Again, it doesn't sound like a big deal, but imagine it's, you know, 11 o'clock at night, you're tired and want to go to bed. Well, in order to keep the challenge going, you got to read your 10 pages, right? And the last one, number 5, was take a selfie every day. And so the 2 reasons for that, the selfie every day was 1, to see the progress you make. And number 2, we don't like taking pictures of ourselves in our underwear or in our bathing suits because we don't like to tell the truth. You know, oh, I didn't notice that little love handle there. So those 5 items might sound, some are easy, some are hard, but the idea of stacking them, doing all 5 for 75 days straight or starting over, that's the mental fortitude. That's the mental toughness or attitude. That's the lesson that you're trying to learn. You will get a transformation. So I went on YouTube and these people have my buddy lost something like 25 pounds, 24 pounds, 26, lost 25 pounds in a 75-day period. Friday was the 75th day. He said, I'm going to eat donuts all weekend. And then he's starting again on Monday, right? So now I've started it on Monday myself. So I started my little 75-day challenge. My wife is going to join me in it. So we're going to do our 75. But the point was not, he said, this was interesting, which goes back to your 21-day challenge. All these challenges is, man, I'm seeing results in my business. He says, this isn't a physical fitness transformation. This is a life, overall transformation, right? I have better phone calls. I have better business meetings. I have more new business. I'm just more focused and getting stuff done, right? Which, anyway, so you tell me what your thoughts are on that.
Well, that's where the committing to business growth comes in, I think, is the fact that what you're doing when you take a 21-day or a 75-day challenge or however many days you want. I do a 31-day challenge every January, and which includes a 21-day fast in January. So it's a commitment. And I think if you want to grow your business, committing to actionable items is the best way to grow your business. And in order to commit to actionable items in your business, you have to be able to commit to actionable items in your personal life as well.
Right. It's almost like you're flexing your muscles or training those commitment muscles. That's, I think, the point of these challenges is your 31-day challenge, you're committing to doing that, right? Yeah. And that you're flexing that muscle, just like a workout, right? You've got to flex that muscle in order to bring it onto the business, right? You got to make that phone call, you got to make. You got to go to that meeting, you got to go to. You got to make the call, you need to make the call, right?
And it's a lot easier when your mindset is, I'm committed to doing this no matter what, this unwavering commitment to whatever it is, the action item. But in reality, we're talking about a commitment to business growth. Well, because you've got a goal in mind of what you want your business to be, the commitment, you're committing to the actions that create the result.
Right. Right. And it reminds me, so I think we talked about this in one of our others, and maybe it's in one of your courses, the commitment, what was that book? Eat the frog first, do the hardest thing in the day first, right? I've heard other people say the opposite, which is you do the easy wins. And then, so now you got a bunch, I've certain salespeople get the yeses first, and then you get the big yes, get little yeses, get the big yes. That's working the muscle, right? Do the little things so you can do the big things, do the big thing first. So then everything else is easy the rest of the day. But all those are commitments. You're committing to a process or a way of getting you to your goals, right? And so what you just said, if you're committed to growth, so this also sparked, we were talking offline, I had a coaching meeting where something's come up, a couple action items have come up several times in a row, and we talk about it and they want to do it and it gets them towards their goal of growing the business, and they're not committing to it. They're not taking action on it, and they're getting frustrated with themselves, with me as the coach, with themselves, right? That how do we commit to our business growth? And a lot of times the example I tried to use was, man, a lot of times it's just the little steps, right? It's just the little steps, right? Just write it down first, right? Write it down first. And then I love, whatever, Dan Sullivan, Dean Jackson's, who, not how. You write it down. Who can help you do some of these tasks? Like a lot of times it's just that, oh my gosh, I don't know where to start. I'm thinking of XYZ, Facebook advertising. I don't know how to do that. Well, just kind of write out what you want, and then we can find somebody who to do it, right? Anyway, so that's what it reminds me of is a coaching meeting I had earlier in the week, and it's something that's come up, and it's like, well, you got to be committed to the growth, like you just said. Are we committed to the end result? It's like, it's the parallel of, you got to commit to running. I used to run half marathons. You're talking about running before offline again. I used to run half marathons quite frequently. Well, you got to commit to it first. Then you back into what's my plan, right? Now we got a plan for it. I got to run X number of miles a day. I need to increase my miles every week, go for the long run on Sunday, right?
Yeah. And then it
got to commit.
It is. The Steve Chandler, who is a business coach, Steve says it in his book, The Prosperous Coach. He says, like, if you're in sales, so many salespeople are afraid of no's. So like you were just saying, get the yeses first. Well, Steve says it this way: no yes lives in the land of no.
Okay.
And so it's like he would say, if somebody told you they flipped a coin and they had 10 heads, but they didn't tell you how many tails they had. Well, there's no way to tell how many times they flipped the coin without but once you know they had 10 heads, you know that they probably had at least roughly 10 tails, because you know that. So the same goes with.
Oh, that's good. I like that. I like that.
The same goes with the commitment to getting a certain amount of no's, because I can tell you that if you are, let's say, on this 75-day action plan, but you can't finish it, well, the issue is in your level of commitment. You're not getting enough commitment to finish these things every single day. So if you're in sales and you look at your checking account and your checking account sucks, I can almost guarantee you that you're saying you don't have enough sales. And I would ask, how many no's did you get today? Or forget no's. I kind of live by a proposal theory.
Okay.
How much business did you propose?
Very nice.
If you want to make $1 million a year and you're the worst salesperson on the planet, let's say your closing ratio is 5%, then my question would be, well, how much business did you propose? I mean, you have to get there. If you want to make $100,000 a year and you got a 10% close ratio, you better propose $1 million of business.
Right.
No other way around it. You're going to get, that means $900,000 worth of no's.
So here's a terrible analogy. I had a college buddy. I went to Georgia, and so you had a date for the Saturday football games, and his goal was to have a date for every football game, no matter how many no's it took, right? He's going to ask every girl he sees, do you want to go to the game Saturday? Until eventually he got the yes. But he never counted how many no's he got to get the Saturday date, right? Because that wasn't the goal. The goal wasn't how. Anyway, stupid analogy, but it was really funny because
but that's a good analogy, because he didn't even count the no's.
Didn't even count them.
The no's were just on the way.
Yeah.
Until finally he's going to run into someone who says yes.
Yeah, I'll go to the game with you. Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what you just said. You're committing to the result, right? We talk about committing to the process or committing to the activities that, what have you done to generate leads today? What have you done to generate offers today, to generate appointments today, right? You can change the focus on how many appointments you have, right? You were saying how many offers, how many appointments, how many calls, how many leads, right? You can measure it in any way you want, right? But you got to commit to one of them, right? I'm going to bring up, so Dan Sullivan has this thing called the 4 C's, and I like it. So, and I'll draw the parallels. It's like, if you wait for when you feel good to work out, you'll never work out, right? You're never going to feel, I got my hamstring hurts, my calf, I got a blister on my heel, right? You're never ideal to work out, right? It's never ideal, but you got to work out anyway, right? Because you committed, right? The first thing is you got to commit to the workout, regardless of how I got a little stuff done. So what people talk about there, his 4 C's, I'll back into it. He says confidence, which is the last one, is only comes after the other 3, right? So you've got to commit. Let's just use the workout routine, right? You're not going to work out when you feel good. You got to commit to the workout. That's the first C, commit. Then his C is courage. You got to have the courage to do it. I don't know what I'm going to do or how I'm going to do it or how I'm going to make it through it. That's a good one. How am I going to make it through it? You got to have the courage to say, I don't know, but I got to commit. I got to start. I'm going on, let's use my run, right? You're going to go on your run. Commit to going on the run. Hardest thing for me is to put on the shoes, right? Because once I start taking the first step, I don't really want to stop, right? I don't want to be a failure. I don't want to screw up, right? So commit, then the courage, then the capability. So once I'm going, I feel pretty good about going. And then the confidence comes after the run is over. Man, I feel great after that run, right? But the hardest step for me was the commitment, making the first step. You talked about that, where it's like you always have one more, right? You can always do one more push-up. You can always do one more pull-up. Back from you had that. You even wrote a book about that on your gymnastics days back in high school.
Yeah.
But anyway, I love that it's like, if we wait till we feel good, we're never going to do it. But you got to commit to the process, whether that's exercise or commitment to growth in your business or commitment to making offers, You got to
What
commit to it.
happens, what happens when you commit, the difference is you will do things in spite of the way you feel.
Right.
I can't tell you how many times that I run when I don't feel like it. I mean, I do it a lot. I mean,
Yeah.
exercise. Sometimes I'll be lifting weights and it feels awesome, and I've got all this motivation. Everything feels great. But other times I'm only going through the motions. But yet I'm still going through the motions, not necessarily at the peak performance, but I'm going through it because of the commitment. And the commitment is what makes you, when you have a 75-day program, there's going to be days where you read 10 pages and your mind might wander, but there'll be other days when you're going to get something, you're going to get a nugget out of it, and you're going to go, man, that was awesome. But you still go through it. You take that selfie every day, you're not going to notice a difference, but I would imagine when you look at day 1 versus day 75, you're going to really notice the difference. You won't notice it on a daily basis, and that's what commitment does. It says, I'm going to do this for this amount of time. So committing to business growth says, well, the first thing is, what's my commitment?
Right.
I'm going to grow my business.
Right.
And then what do you have to do? You have to create a plan of action.
Right.
And you can do, this is the thing, you can take a 21-day plan of action in your business. I am going to do 3 things every day in my business. I'm going to prospect. I'm going to do this. I'm going to send emails. I'm going to create an email autoresponder. I'm going to write my blog. I'm going to do a video. I'm going to see. Now it's got me thinking, okay, now I got all this. that may be the thing that I do, is create a 21-day business enhancement program based around 3 things, 3 keys to your business. Everybody, if you can figure out your 3 keys, what are those 3 things that will drive your business, and then you commit to them, and then you have the courage to actually take action, then you're going to find the capability to get them done. And then what will happen is you'll have confidence in it. Why? Because what will happen, your business will grow.
Yeah, you'll feel good. So it's funny. So going through my own struggle. So I'm thinking this weekend, am I going to do the 75-day challenge or not, and all this stuff. And I got to think, oh my gosh, 2 workouts at 45 minutes. What am I going to do? And so I've done P90X, years ago. So I got those DVDs. I've done something else called T25. I've got those DVDs. I've got a treadmill. I got an elliptical. I've got a total gym. The total gym. I got one of those, right? You got YouTube videos you can watch. I got a little app, like I think it's called like the 7-minute workout routine. It's like, which is kind of push-ups and sit-ups for 7 minutes or whatever. So I'm like, should they? So I talked to my buddy actually today, and I was asking him about that because I've already started and I'm doing. He's like, dude, it could be 2 walks. Who cares?
Yeah.
He said one of my walks. He said, I started doing 2 walks, one of which was with a cup of coffee and pushing my kid in the stroller, right? That was it. That was and not what, like you said, it wasn't fast. It wasn't, but he was doing it. It's 45 minutes. It's quality. It's family time too, because he's chatting with he's got a little kid, so he's pushing in the stroller. It's family time as well as the walk. And then he said, as I got better is when I started adding complexity. I started doing push-ups or sit-ups after the walk. And then I started adding, instead of a second walk, maybe I'll do a bike or a elliptical, right? So I'm sitting here I'm making excuses of why I can't do it. I don't know if I can come up with what routine am I going to do? What workout can I do? He's like, dude, it doesn't matter.
It's a cool workout. And if you could call it 75 days medium. You could do the 75-day calorie count. You could do 2 times a day. I'm going to do 30-minute workout.
Right.
You can modify it. See, this is the thing. Too many, like P90X, it was such a great program and still is. I mean, they sold I don't know, $400 or $500 million worth of. Right. They're really good at selling supplements. I will tell you that. But the point is, a lot of people signed up for it, but a lot of the people who actually committed to it, they had really good results. And because of those results, because they did 90 days, they bought the Insanity program.
Right.
A lot of people committed to it. I know I did. I went through both. And why? Because of the commitment. The whole, I can't say it anymore, is if you want to grow your business, the first thing to do is commit to it.
Commit to it. And it's so funny. So, I had this weekend, I'm sitting here thinking about the 75-day challenge, and I got into committing to my business and my growth goals. And we talked about this before, worked so well, I quit doing it. And so it was like, I'm going to commit to going back to some of my basics. For me, it's meeting with my centers of influence. That's where I get referrals from lawyers and accountants and consultants, and I get referrals from existing clients. So commit to doing that, get them all on the schedules. I'm very sporadic about it. I mean, over a course of a year, I'm pretty good about it, but during the year, I kind of ebb and flow. Well, why can't we just have consistency throughout? So can you commit to having, we're going to meet with this guy 4 times a year. We're meeting with this guy 3 times a year, right? And that's what I was recommitted to actually just on Monday. Monday, I had jury duty, so I had a lot of time on my hands. So I was going through my commitments. That was my commitment to someone like, let's go back to the basics of blocking and tackling. Commitment to, really just doing some of the basic things that were working in my business in the past. Committing to the 75-day plan, although it was half-heartedly until today I'm re-energized, right? Because now I know it doesn't matter what it is, what the meal plan, what the exercise routine is. It's just that you do it.
Yeah.
Right? Talking to you energizes me. Just commit to the, I like what you said. You can commit to 3 things you do a day to grow your business. Whatever those 3 things are for your business, right? More leads, more conversions, upsell somebody. I don't know. I'm just using that from our little 5 ways to grow a business. Just that would be great. If you committed to 3 of those a day, maybe an hour a piece, 30 minutes. I don't know what the time is. If you did those 3 key drivers, get more leads, get better at converting and upselling somebody. Committed to that every day for, like you said, 21 days. That's how long it takes to build a habit. So I don't know where this guy got 75 days from. I don't know.
Well, I think if you commit to something for 75 days, and look, if you're not good at commitment, start with 21 days.
Yeah.
Start with 21, because 21 is, you create a habit of doing something. But I used to have a sales force that stretched all over the country, and whenever they were struggling, I would say, look, here's what you need to do. Commit every day to write 1 proposal. You got to write 5 days a week. You got to write a proposal. That's it. And if you don't write 5 proposals a week, then you can't complain about your income, because if you'll write 5 a week, even if you're the worst salesperson on the planet, you're going to be closing, 4 to 6 sales every month. And
that is awesome, because I literally just listened to a podcast this weekend. Frank Kern, we talked about Frank Kern in the past, and his is make offers. Just what you said, make offers. How do you make more money? You make more offers. More of the same offer, mix the offer up, say the same offer in a different way, but make more offers. That's how you make more money. Make more offers. So exactly what you just said, make more proposals. Hey, you're like Frank Kern. You're like a guru.
Well, I don't know. Frank does a little better, but you know what? He makes more offers, which in his case is run more Facebook advertising, run more Google ads, make more offers. It doesn't matter how you get to the client, but if you have a goal, you got to get more out there. But it's committing to that. Just a little bit of action is never enough. You can have a lot of people say they work hard, and they do work hard. Everybody works hard. But if you take action on a specific, end result, business growth, take action on that, commit to whatever that action is, and just commit to it, and then just do it. It's not hard, but why then, if it wasn't hard, why don't so many people, why don't they do it? Well, because the lack of commitment. That's why they
lack of commitment. Well, it's funny. I had this conversation, we all know how to lose weight. You eat less and exercise more, right? We all know how to do it. We're just not committed to it. I'm committed to that bowl of ice cream every night. I'm committed to sitting in front of the TV and watching Netflix. Whoever, I'm not saying me, but I am addicted to the ice cream, but not the Netflix. But yeah, because we know what you're supposed to do to lose weight or get in shape, right? I want 6-pack abs. We know what you do. You eat less and work out more, right? And it's that we're not committed to doing it. And so commitment is like a muscle that we're trying to exercise. So I think all these challenges are getting you to exercise your commitment muscle. right? So if you do it personally, like you said, it reflects in your business, right? If you do it in your business, it'll overflow into your personal life. If you committed to a date night with your wife once a week, twice a week, once a month, whatever the number is for you, right? That's a commitment, and good things will happen. Good things will happen in your marriage if you commit to a date night once a week. It has to, right? Good things will happen if you commit to whatever, having a encouraging one team member a day, right? Good things will happen. You made a commitment to something positive, complimenting one of your team members. Good things will happen. Commitment to, making an offer every day.
I heard a pastor talk about how to improve your relationship with your spouse. You commit to, whenever your spouse tells you something, you commit to asking 5 questions. So you're not allowed to do any statements until you've said 5 questions.
Okay, I like that.
Well, that's how, because like as men, we like to fix things, right? But
right.
You have to ask 5 questions. That's your commitment. You ask 5 questions before, and so what is that going to do? It's going to make you genuinely interested in what your spouse has to say, because you have to ask at least 5 questions about whatever it is they're talking about. That's going to make you know on a deeper level what they're talking about. But everything starts with that commitment. And then what's the next step? Action. You got to have a plan, and you take action on the plan. I mean, if you do those 3 things, you make a commitment, you create a plan, and then you take action on the plan. Even a bad plan, if you're committed to it, will do a lot better than a great plan with no commitment and no action.
Analysis paralysis and doing nothing. You're exactly right.
That's
Commitment is the first step, right? All right, so we bring this full circle. We talked about commitment to business growth. So you got to be committed to your business growth. We used analogies of these commitment challenges, these 21-day challenges, these 75-day hard challenge. But they're just exercising your commitment muscle, your dedication muscle, your perseverance muscle, right? So got to commit to business growth, figure out what your 1, 2, or 3 things. I like that. 3 things for business growth every day. And if you do those every day and you're committed to them, you got a plan, and then you take action, good things will happen. Committed to business growth. Being committed is the first step.
That's right.
That's pretty good. All right, Mr. Mulvaney, I love it. I love the beard too. Where can we find you?
Well, I won't have this next week. I won't even have it tomorrow. But you can find me at davidmulvaney.com. Connect with me on LinkedIn, David Mulvaney. And where can we find you, Matt?
Yeah, so Matt Hudgins over at LinkedIn. Then I've got my coaching website is 10xprofitblueprint.com, 10xprofitblueprint.com. I got some great videos on there that you can watch, however marketing mistakes to avoid. Hey, I got to go, man. I got to go commit. I got my second 45-minute workout. I've done my morning one. So, I got to go.
All right. If you found this commitment helpful, commit to this YouTube channel by subscribing and ring the bell, and you'll get notified. Let us know what you think. Comment below, and we'll talk soon, man.
All right. See you.